Greetings, everybody. We're with Sam Weaver from Churton Winery in New Zealand, and we're here to talk about biodynamics.
Okay.
I just came back. I helped organize a biodynamic vineyard tour in Washington State with Philippe Armenier.
Okay.
We went to Hedges Vineyard, and we went to Christophe Baron at Cayuse. Absolutely incredible. But we have you here, and I want to get this on video. I've got Philippe's and Christophe's all on video, but I haven't rendered it yet. This is going to be a lot quicker.
Okay.
There's been some skeptics cruising around the internet talking about biodynamics, calling them, what did they call them, Leah? Woolly bearded, hippies.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
And boy, that just got little hair on the back of my head, and I'll tell you why. But Sam, let's talk about it.
Let me tell you how I came to biodynamics. And I'm seriously interested in wine quality. That's always been the starting and ending point for me. The second thing is, I did my degree in microbiology, so I have a scientific background. So I didn't come to biodynamics through any sort of spiritual or psychic type influence. I came to it because it started making rational sense, and what I could see in the vineyard was levels of improvement in soil structure and in vine health and in grape health and in grape quality, and all of those things just made a lot of sense to me. So that's partly why we do it.
I want to also make there's biodynamic farming and there's winemaking. You could be a great biodynamic farmer and a crappy winemaker.
Absolutely.
You need to, and I've tasted great wines that have been traditionally farmed also. So you need to have both disciplines. That's really important.
Yeah. And a lot of it. I mean, people will say, well, if you put that much focus into your vineyards, you're always going to make good wines. Yes, of course, but there are other benefits in biodynamics.
There's the next level,
Yeah.
and to say that the earth and the moon and the sun don't have rhythms, I mean, go grab a book.
Absolutely.
Go start reading.
In a lot of senses, I think of it in. No, let me just quickly show you the calendar. This is the calendar
For New Zealand.
to. This is the New Zealand biodynamic calendar, which we use as. I mean, somebody said it to me the other day. It's like a farming almanac.
It's a farmer's almanac.
It's a farmer's almanac
that the guys used 100 years ago.
Absolutely, and Rudolf Steiner was basically talking about agriculture as our ancestors knew it before we went through the agricultural revolution post
World War
II, which changed agriculture.
You know why? After making bombs, what did they have left over?
Right.
Nitrogen.
Exactly.
Threw it on the ground, and all of a sudden plants started to grow really big.
Yep.
Industrial farming. Just let me tell you, my parents are from two small islands, Cyprus, my dad, which I'm sure you know being English, and a little island my mom's called from Skopolis.
Right.
All right, they're both in their 80s now. Getting there even today is a pain. So prior to, during the war, during the Depression, you had to be self-sufficient. If you poisoned your land, you wouldn't be able to feed your family.
Yep.
Okay? You wouldn't be able to exist, especially on those islands. And my father, still to this day, at 84, is super healthy. My mom, a little bit tough, but that's a variety of other reasons. But I remember when they came over after the war, and they lived in Ladner, which is a little outside of Vancouver, and my grandmother would go to people's farms and pick up weeds. We call it lahana, right? Boil it up.
Yep.
That's how they ate. They lived off the land. If you treated your land, the pits, terribly, you wouldn't be able to eat, you wouldn't be able to subsist. So people who say the biodynamics don't work, my grandfather, who was about 103 when he died, I mean, he understood this.
Yeah. And, I think it's something that a lot of people have lost through urban living. I mean, we were in contact with, in our vineyard, we were in contact with what's going on in the environment. With the calendar, we can sort of, it helps us think about the way things are growing. Not only that, it also helps us plan, because we can look at the calendar and say, oh well, look, the next few days are going to be root days, and maybe we're going to want to do something on the soil, because the root days tend to be beneficial for doing stuff with the soil.
But not for tasting.
Not necessarily for tasting. There's another. Hang on, just let me
yeah,
finish this
sorry.
point. So, but the other thing that we find is that we tend to get changes in weather around root days and around leaf days, and they tend to be the wetter weather. So, and that's something we record on a daily basis: rain, no rain, cloud, and very often those events are. The rainy, cloudy events are all around the root and the leaf days.
We tasted this Pinot, the 2008 Pinot, yesterday.
Yep.
It had some good qualities to it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I didn't feel well yesterday. I had to actually, I had to go home. Today we tasted the same wine, which has been in the car.
Yep.
Bouncing around, tasted it. The wine is stunning. We looked at the calendar. Yesterday was a root day. Today is a flower day.
Yep, absolutely.
The wine's tasting better. I'm 110%. I don't know. Maybe, you know, you want to call it hocus pocus. But I've been to Châteauneuf-du-Pape before,
Yeah.
where the Mistral has gone through,
Yeah.
low pressure, and I had to leave because my sinuses had just jammed up.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
an excruciating time of the year to taste,
You know,
place to taste.
as a winemaker, I'm tasting my wines on a daily basis, and there are some days when I go out with the wines, or go out into the winery, and I think, God, these wines are looking good.
Yep.
And I go home, I'm sort of full of chuffed, and
Yep.
I think I'm doing a really good job. 2 or 3 days later, I look at them, oh, God, what's
Screwed
happening
up.
here?
Yeah.
And you know, you look at the calendar, and a lot of it is actually related to what's going on in the calendar. So, you know, you've got those mood, and you've got these big tidal effects, which of course are being caused by the moon, etc. And I think we you know, need
We
to
kind
take
of
them
miss
into
that in
account.
the city.
Yeah.
We think we're way smarter in the city. Talk about this picture for a second.
Okay, so this is what another aspect that people find a bit difficult to grasp with biodynamics. So this is what we're doing, is we're stirring or dynamizing water with preparation 500. So a couple of aspects there. You've got preparation 500. Preparation 500 is one of the sort of witchcrafty type things, which is basically cow dung,
Yeah.
buried and matured in a cow horn over the winter, and then it's dug up,
Right.
and you add very small amounts of it to the water, and then you vigorously stir the water, so you form a vortex in one direction, and then you reverse the vortex, which means you've got order followed by chaos, followed by order, followed by chaos, and you do that for an hour.
Sounds like my house with my daughter.
I tell you what, it's
15-year-old, I'll tell you, they're not thinking right, but it's...
No, but what's really interesting is after about half an hour, the water, the quality of water seems to change. You get this, it seems to be able to form a vortex more easily. So, and what you're doing is, of course, you're sucking in a whole heap of oxygen into the water.
Right.
So you're getting supersaturated, oxygenated water with, basically, from a microbiologist's point of view, a microbial culture in it. So you've thrown a microbial culture into highly oxygenated water, and then you spray it on your ground. I mean, for me, that seems like a rational way of inoculating the ground with a variety of different microorganisms.
The wines speak for themselves, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but New Zealand would be an ideal place to do biodynamics because of its remoteness and just the difficulty for bugs and other pests that we have in the New World to get here. It's like Chile.
Yeah.
The northern desert, the Andes, the Pacific, and the Antarctic.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, particularly in the Marlborough region. We have very low disease incidence. We have never used an insecticide in our vineyard, and never will. We don't have that as a problem. We get very little disease problems. So in actual fact, it astounds me that not more places are either organic or biodynamic in our area, because it's so easy to do, and you know, it really helps us, coming back to the beginning, focus on what's happening in the vineyard and getting quality.
It's a lifestyle, it's a mindset.
Absolutely.
And if you're not, the way you live, the way you eat, then you just can't do it in your vineyard. It's a whole philosophy.
Absolutely. Very quickly, there is one spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Actually stirring this stuff, you've got the whole vineyard crew around it.
Yeah.
You're having fun. You create all this energy in the vineyard, this positive energy.
Absolutely.
And that positive energy goes out back into the vineyard.
Also some big pipes, especially
Exactly.
for women.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.